Hello, Roberts Wesleyan College students. You are now navigating all of your classes in a fully online manner. And for some of you, this transition has been pretty seamless because you've taken online classes before. But for some of you, this is your first experience with online learning, and it has been intimidating and confusing. And you've asked yourself, why does my one professor teach the class this way, but my other professor does it this completely different way? And we want you to know that those feelings are normal. If this is your first time doing online learning, it's normal to feel intimidated and confused at first. It's also very normal for your professors to be teaching in very different manners. There are many different ways to successfully teach online classes, and we want to take a few minutes to discuss some of those now. The first main method that's used for teaching online learning is called asynchronous learning. And asynchronous learning is the most common type of online experience. And all this means is that you are not meeting all together as a group at a very specific time. Instead, your professor is posting activities for you to do by a specific deadline. The advantage of this is you get to set your own pace. As long as you're meeting the deadlines of the course, you get to do the work at the time that works for you. So if you have other commitments to meet, you can schedule your classes around your life or your life around your classes. So asynchronous learning is a very flexible method. There are many different types of asynchronous learning activities. You may have already experienced something like a forum or a discussion post where you can discuss with your classmates some of the learning that you're doing. Or maybe your faculty member has already posted a homework assignment that you download a Word or a PDF document and then upload your response, your homework. This isn't really different than when you would be doing it face-to-face. It is just simply another type of asynchronous work that you're doing in an online experience instead of a face-to-face experience. Another type of asynchronous activity may be lectures, like the lecture you're watching right now. And in this case, this takes the place of the face-to-face lecture. And instead, your professor is going to post a video and ask you to watch that video instead. Your professor may also ask you to read something and then take a quiz to show that you've understood what you've read. These are all examples of asynchronous learning, activities that your professor posts and then asks you to complete by a certain time. Again, there are so many benefits to asynchronous learning. It's flexible. You're watching a video and you need to pause it and go take care of something else. You can do that. You're watching the video lecture and you're confused. You can rewind it and watch it again. You want to review for your exam. All of your materials are posted online. You can even rewatch the lectures. So asynchronous learning gives you many different benefits. The other type of online learning, which you can probably guess what it's called, is synchronous learning. Synchronous learning means that the entire class comes together at a specific time to do activities together. You're probably familiar with the video conferencing, Google Meet, or Zoom. This is the most common way that your faculty right now are doing synchronous learning. They're likely posting the links to these meetings on their Moodle page. And when you go into your Google Meet or your Zoom meeting, you will find that you have discussion groups with your classmates. You might have your professor who's lecturing in that format, or maybe you're having a guest speaker. And so something like this has become very familiar to you. The advantage of synchronous learning is that you're getting together with your classmates to do something all at the same time. You also have the opportunity, if you're using Google Meet or Zoom, to see each other's faces, to watch each other's faces as you're talking, to understand how the other person is responding, and to connect in meaningful ways. So that's a huge advantage of synchronous learning. But the truth is that you probably have some professors that are doing a little bit of both, a little bit of asynchronous and a little bit of synchronous. And you may have some professors that are only doing asynchronous and only doing synchronous. That's all okay, and that's normal for online learning. There are a variety of ways to meet successful educational goals. And they both have their advantages. So we also want to make sure that you know how to get the help that you need if you're struggling. If you go to the intranet page and you look above your Moodle classes, you will find a place called tutorials. We have created a specific link for you, online resources for students. If you click on that link, you will see a variety of tutorials. For example, there's one on how to take a quiz or an exam on Moodle, and it walks you through step by step how to access each question, how to navigate the quiz, how to circle questions that you're unsure of and want to go back to. So make sure you check out those online resources. Also, right on that page, there's some information about how to use Google Meets and Google Chats, and that may be helpful to you as you're trying to communicate with your classmates and your professors. We also want you to know that as your professors, we want you to ask us for help. We want to meet with you on Google Meet. So ask us, request a Google Meet, or come to our office hours. Sit down with us one-on-one and have a conversation about what you're confused about and what you're struggling with. We want you to be successful during this online learning experience. And finally, if you have any questions, I want to help. Feel free to ask me to have a Google meeting with you. Email me your questions. We want you to be successful during this time, and we want to help in any way that we can. So finally, I want to leave you with one of my favorite verses from Jeremiah 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm, plans to give you hope and a future. And that's what I'm praying for you right now. I'm praying that you have hope, and I'm praying that you know that your future is secure in Christ. Please let us know if there's anything we can do to help. We want you to be successful. God bless.